How to register your address in Turkey.
In the past decade, Turkey has digitized many of its government-related bureaucratic procedures. Civil procedures, including address registration, have also enjoyed the benefits of this transformation. And in 2006, with the Law on Population Services, Turkey introduced the address-based population registration system, Adresdale Nüfus Sistemi, and nowadays it is known as the Population Registration System, Adres Sistemi, or AX for short. This central registering system keeps up-to-date electronic records of the address information of both Turks and foreigners domiciled in Turkey. The relevant law states that foreigners who arrive in Turkey with residence and work permits shall register in the Turkish address registration system within 20 working days as of their date of entry. The exact time limit is also applied to address changes, where you are obliged to report such changes to the civil registry or provincial migration authorities as soon as possible. If you do not report a change of address in due time, you will face an administrative fine of 94 Turkish lira. When applying for a family residence permit, registration in the AX is also a prerequisite. Why register your address in Turkey? Any foreigner who intends to stay in Turkey for longer than 6 months must register their address in Turkey. And there are several reasons why you will need to register your address in the electronic AX system eventually. The following procedures and transactions require you to register your address within AX. Renewing your residence permit. Renewing the residence permits of your dependents. Writing for a gas/water/electric supplier when you are a tenant to get invoiced for utilities. Opening a bank account. Getting married. Getting a birth or death certificate. And similar bureaucratic procedures. How to register your address. There are some steps you need to follow to complete your address registration process in Turkey. To register your address, you will first need a foreign national identification number, which starts with 99. To get a foreign ID, you will need to have received your residence permit card first. Then you should book an online appointment. If you live in one of the districts below, you need to visit the Provincial Directorate of Migration Management to register your address. Istanbul districts, Suriyar, Silivri, Catalca, Arnavutköy, and Beykoz. If you live in other districts than the aforementioned ones, you need to visit your district's district population directorates. For instance, if you live in Besiktas, you need to visit Besiktas Civil Registry, Nüfus MDRL, with the required documents. Update in 2022, Istanbul and Şanlıurfa are now being processed through the Provincial Directorate of Migration Management. For foreigners who make a residence permit extension application in Aydın, Izmir, and Kocaeli, the address registration process must be completed within the active residence permit period and before the appointment date. Applications of foreigners who do not complete the registration process in due time can be evaluated negatively. You can have your address registration process carried out. Aydın Province, at the Provincial Directorate of Migration Management. Izmir Province, at the Provincial Directorate of Migration Management. Kocaeli Province, at the District Population Directorates where the address is located. Istanbul Province, at the Provincial Directorate of Migration Management. And Şanlıurfa Province, at the Provincial Directorate of Migration Management. Getting an appointment. Although the Nüfus online appointment system used to only accept the ID numbers of Turkish citizens, due to the COVID pandemic, foreigners can now also use it with their issued ID numbers. You will be asked to select your purpose of visit/reason for inquiry, and fill in your contact information on the online portal to book your appointment, and/or find the closest location to you. After you arrive at the office on your appointment date and time, you will be asked to take a number from the kiosk and wait for a little. Before your appointment, you will have to collect some documents to submit to the government. The documents you will need for your address registration appointment. Your residence permit card. Your passport and a photocopy of the page with your name and photo. Your housing document could be a rental contract, utility bill, or your title deed. If you have kids, you will need to go to the civil registry with your spouse, but you do not have to have them accompany you, but make sure to bring their documents. When applying to register the address of your dependents and kids, in addition to the documents mentioned above, you'll be asked to submit the residence permit cards of your dependents, as well as apostilled, translated, and notarized marriage and birth certificates. If you are a student, you can inquire at your university's dorm and housing directorate to receive a document evidencing your stay. This residency document must be in Turkish. If you have housemates or flatmates, the papers should also detail their names. If you are renting, your rental contract and a utility bill in your name will suffice. Make sure that your address is explicitly written on the document you will submit. After collecting these documents, you can visit the related government office to submit them and register. You will hear Turks referring to this as going to the nüfus. Depending on the city and district you live in, you will either be asked to submit the documents to the Provincial Immigration Department or the district's Civil Registry Office, nüfus MDRL. What is nüfus and what else can you do there? The nüfus or nüfus ve Vatandaş İlleri Genel MDRL, General Directorate of Population and Citizenship Affairs, is the government office responsible for issuing and keeping the records of all Turkish citizens' identification cards, birth, marriage, divorce and death certificates as well as driver's licenses. Every district in the 81 provinces of Turkey has a nüfus office. You can see the list of these offices here. For citizenship, including applying for Turkish citizenship, you will have to go to the nüfus. You will also be asked to go to the nüfus to register your address when you want to renew your DASK, or compulsory earthquake insurance. If you need help reaching the Population Directorate, or have questions, you can call their helpline 199. Getting a copy of your address registration certificate. You can obtain this certificate, Yerlisim Yeri, Ikamet ve Diradras Belgesi Sorgulama, via eDevlet, e-government, Turkey's digital state service platform, after successfully registering your address. This will save time and effort when asked for copies of your address registration certificate for other bureaucratic procedures. How can I check if I am registered in the address registration system in Turkey? By searching for your address at this portal, you can check whether you are already registered in AX or not. What if my address registered in AX is wrong? You can also use this service to check if your address has been registered correctly. If you see that your actual address and the address listed in AX do not match, you will have to go to your nüfus MDRL to get it changed, as not to encounter problems later on. If you have reported a false address, you may also face an administrative fine of 1,063 Turkish lira. What if someone is already registered at the address? If someone is registered at the address, he will have to go to the immigration authorities with the foreigner and give an exemption to their stay together.